Hi there, if you are new to my channel, my name is Jess and I make lifestyle videos. Today we are going to talk about 25 ways to stop impulse buying, save money, and overall just keep your budget really happy. I am a big finance person. My husband and I have taken Dave Ramsey's class 3 times now. I am the free spirit, which means I am not like a budget guru in the sense that I don't go through and meticulously look over the budget. However, I am the saver between the two of us. And this was requested to talk about some different ways that you can stop impulse buying, you can save some money, and we can make good choices when we go out. My goal with this video is to kind of whip through them nice and quick so you're not like sitting here in a long video with a long explanation, so let's get right into it. Number 1, unsubscribe. And I don't mean from my channel. Don't unsubscribe from my channel. I mean from emails that retailers send you to get you to buy stuff. And also unsubscribe from channels that often do haul videos. They do sponsorships that try to get you to buy a lot of things. Sponsorships aren't necessarily bad, but if you're watching a channel where all they do is unbox stuff, or you find yourself watching them and always going, I wish I had that, I want to buy that, I want to be more like them, then maybe it's a good time to kind of take a step back and unsubscribe from them for a while and see if that affects how you spend. Something that I try to do on my channel is not do those types of videos because I don't want you to go out and spend things. A question for me with my channel is my goal to get you to spend more money? No. Is my goal to get you to be more like me? No. You're your own self, I'm my own self. I don't want you to buy things to be more like me. Number 2, wait at least 24 hours before making a decision on a purchase. This is especially true if you are online shopping. You can add it to your cart all you want, but take 24 hours to decide, do I actually need this? And oftentimes I find myself going an actual week before making a decision. Number 3 is a great one. Keep snacks in your vehicle or in your bag in case you go grocery shopping. I can't tell you how many times my husband and I go grocery shopping where we are either super hungry or super stuffed. Both are terrible because if you're super hungry, you buy more food. And if you're stuffed, you tend not to buy enough. Keep a budget. It will help you keep track of how much you're spending, where your money's going, and how much you want to spend on certain items. So we have a specific set of money set aside for our groceries and for our fun money and for certain things like clothes, which usually clothes is $0 every month until we want something that we, need to buy to fulfill whatever's in our closet that may have gotten torn or worn or doesn't fit anymore. But definitely keep track of your money. That way you know where it's going. It can be scary if you're the kind of person that is scared to check your bank account because you're not sure how much money is left. Don't be that person. At least have your accountability partner or you to be able to look at your bank account and say, this is how much money I have, this is where it's going. It makes you feel a lot better. It also makes you be a little bit more careful about where you're putting your money. Try a no-spend weekend, a no-spend week, or a no-spend month. This is where you don't spend anything extra outside of your budget. So you spend money on like food and your bills, rent, anything that is necessary, and then you don't spend anything extra. That can be really good to kind of fast from spending. Try a weekend at first, then try a week and maybe a month. Growing up, and I was from the city, and the city in Vermont is like, I don't know, probably a town in a super populated state. The way that I spent time with my friends was always at the mall. Now, we wouldn't really spend a lot of money because, let's be honest, when I was a teenager, I just didn't have the money. But if you, as an adult now, or as an older teenager, go and hang out with your friends at a place that prompts you to spend money, find a free option instead. Instead of going out to eat, maybe invite your friends over. And I know this is kind of weird with COVID going on right now, but keep this in mind that this video might be here for other times as well. Try free options, the park, swimming at the lake, whatever is free and still fun for you. Make a grocery list. So I've had people at the grocery store stop because they really like my grocery lists. And that's where I color coordinate by meal, and I also separate out the items by where they are. So I'll do produce, meat, deli, grocery, bread, I'll sort it all out. But have a grocery list and stick to the list. And if it's hard for you to stick to a list, then I suggest you give yourself like one splurge item. So when we go shopping, my husband and I both have a free splurge item. Okay, one of us really wants cookies, so we get cookies, and the other one really wants this item, so we get that. Create a list on your phone or in a notebook that's like a want-need list. So these are items that you know that you want or you know that you need, but you don't need them right now. So maybe I need a new shirt and I'm gonna put on what kind of shirt I want. It might be like just a plain black basic tee. I know that I need a watering can, so I'm gonna put my watering can down on my list. And as that list, is there and you can look at it and perhaps growing, you can decide what you truly need and what you don't need. My husband and I do this for our fun money. We do this for stuff around the house. It's just whatever we might need, we write it down so that we can see it. This one's super important. You need to be able to recognize if you actually need the item or if you just want to evoke some kind of emotion within you. Usually when we buy items, it makes us feel good. It makes us feel like we have something new, it's fun, it's exciting. It triggers that satisfaction area of your brain that makes you happy. But oftentimes that doesn't last, and that item is truly not going to give you that feeling for very long. It's in fact the process of buying something that makes you feel that way. So think, do you really need this, or are you just looking forward to that fun, happy trigger of happiness for a moment, but knowing it's going to fade? This one is so important with COVID. Shop inside your home. If you're looking for something like a container, maybe you already have one inside your house. If you are looking through your closet and you don't love everything, maybe you need to figure out some things that you haven't worn recently. Go through and see what you already have, see what you can repurpose, see what maybe you haven't been using, what can you make new. Declutter! Decluttering gets rid of the stuff you don't want and makes space for those things that you do want and will use. In fact, there's a lot of things that we will use within our home, but we don't use them because they're surrounded by other things. So I find that by decluttering and getting rid of that stuff, it actually helps us to use what we already have and enjoy what we already have. Another good rule within this little topic is a one in, one out. If you're going to bring something into your home, take something out of your home. Don't overbuy. If you are grocery shopping and you tend to have, for me, it's lettuce that is always in your fridge, always extra, but you're worried that you won't have enough, so you buy an extra one and then you don't use it, and at the end of the week it's there. Stop buying an extra lettuce. Make sure you're buying only what you need and what you can use, because otherwise, especially with groceries, it just promotes waste. So just buy exactly what you need and don't worry about running out of things. You don't need anything just in case. You don't need anything in case you're going to run out of it. That is a mind trap that we play to justify why we should get something more. Let's talk restaurants. If you're going to a restaurant, I love restaurants that have half-priced apps because you pay a lot less and you get the same amount of food. But I make sure to tip well. The other thing that my husband and I do is that we split an app and an entree, or we split just an app that's really big, like nachos. We have this local restaurant that has huge appetizer nachos for $10. We fill up faster and we can tip well in the process. It's a win-win. Okay, evaluate if you're going to use the item or if it's a fantasy self item. Fantasy self is that thing that you want to be that you're not exactly. So for me, that tends to be makeup, or it tends to be certain things that other influencers or lifestyle vloggers have. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool how they have that. But that's just a fantasy self. It's us wanting to be more like someone else. And I think when we really like someone, we tend to want to be like them. But you're yourself. You don't need to be like anyone else. So evaluate. Is it something that you truly need, something you'll truly love, something that's going to benefit your life? Or are you just trying to be like someone else, or trying to fulfill something that really you're just not, a fantasy self? Get rid of your monthly subscriptions. And I mean things like Amazon Prime. Chances are, if you really need something in a pinch, you know someone who has Amazon Prime and can order something for you. Getting rid of those things that make it easier for you to click buy it now or to get something instantaneously, those are the things that need to go. So get rid of your Amazon Prime. It will save you money. Get rid of the autofill of a credit card, or don't even use a credit card, a debit card. Make yourself go walk to get that card and put it in, because chances are you're not going to want to do it. Keep your meals simple and delicious. What I mean by that is, if we follow a recipe book or a recipe, it often calls for a ton of ingredients. So there's two things here, two within the one. Use simple foods, use whole foods. So like 1 meat, 2 veggies, or a fruit, a veggie, and a meat alternative. And then the other thing would be, if you are following a recipe and you don't have something within the recipe, it's okay to exclude it and still cook whatever you're cooking. So if the recipe calls for green beans and you don't have them, leave them out and use corn. Use whatever is in your pantry. Shop quality over quantity. So if you're looking for a basic tee, I suggest not going to Old Navy where it's going to break. It was made with sweatshop labor. Maybe go to a thrift store. You might find something good there. Or invest in like a really good quality ethical piece. You could check out ThredUp. Like, invest in those things that are going to last you. It could be for shoes. It could be for clothes. It could be for like a watering can. Use a nice metal one versus a cheap plastic one. Just be very cognizant of what you're buying. Is it worthwhile? Is it going to last? Was it ethically made? Okay, I need you to listen to me on this one because this is something that I didn't understand growing up. And actually, when I first started my channel, all of my videos were basically hauls. When you shop sales, you are not saving money, you are spending money. Yes, you may be spending less than the other advertised price, which by the way, they market to and they know that you're not technically saving money. And in fact, they try to get you to spend more money this way. You're not saving money by shopping sales. You are spending that money. You're saving money when it sits in your pocket. Utilize gift cards. When we started our financial peace journey, my mom started giving us restaurant gift cards because they knew that we weren't going out to eat at all. So she would do that for us so that we could get a chance to go out to eat. There is no shame in telling somebody if they want to give you gifts, what kind of gift is going to benefit you most. It helps a business out, it helps you out, and it reduces just random waste and clutter. Okay, ready? This one's kind of for me too. Stop justifying your purchases. If you need to justify your purchase, chances are you didn't actually need it. I don't quite have an example here, but I can think of when I'm decluttering my clothes and I'm like, here's why I need it, but I don't need it. It's kind of like that, but for shopping. Check out thrift stores first because they'll save you a ton of money, it stops waste, and it's just really fun to go thrifting. You never know what you're going to get. If you don't do this already, start researching about products before buying them. So look at reviews on YouTube, see what other people are saying, research on Amazon reviews. Not only that, look into how they were made, where they were made. Is it a good company? Do they test on animals? You know, that's kind of more for like things that I believe in. But I do think it's important to look at where was the product made? Is it fair trade? Another little tidbit in here is be aware of marketing terms. All natural, 100% therapeutic grade. Like, marketing is such a big reason for why we buy things. If you go to a store and you see red, it reminds you of sales. If you see green, it kind of creates this feeling of spending more. It just depends on what it is, but there is crazy psychology based into colors of products and also placement of products. If you go to the grocery store, you'll see that the name brand cereals are right at kid level height so they can grab them. But then the grocery store brands are kind of on the bottom shelves. You have to look for those other brands that may not be spending money to be right in front of your eyeballs. This one is so important, and if you're someone who talks to me on YouTube, I will be that person for you if you do not have one. I'm serious. I will be that person for you if you need it. Have an accountability partner. My sister, I'm her accountability partner. She sends me photos about stuff that she's buying. We talk if she's going to use it, how it's going to add value to her life, if it's going to be cluttered, if maybe it's really not going to fit her need, if there's something better that fits her need. And then my husband and I are accountability partners. If you have a spouse, they are your accountability partner. You talk to them about the purchase. The funny thing about my husband and I is that I'm the free spirit, but I'm the saver. He's the nerd, but he's the spender. So we kind of bounce ourselves out while we talk about this stuff. But it's so important to have an accountability partner because you have to check in with them before you buy it. And it offers you a second opinion, which is always great. Okay, this question is really important. Do you already have one? If you already have one, you don't really need a second one. You have a t-shirt already that looks like that, you don't need a second one. I have one pair of shoes for summer that I wear, and they're not around. I'll make a video on that. But you don't really need duplicates of things because oftentimes we can just use that one item multiple times, and then when it's done, we get a new item. Okay, this is the last one for this video. I anticipate we'll have more in the series, but how often will it be used? Because there's different reasons behind this. If you'll use it once, but it's supposed to be used multiple times, that's not so good. If it's like going out to eat and you're going to use it once, okay, is it worthwhile? Is it a date? Is it something that's helping you and helping another person? Like, think about these things about how you're spending your money, because you spend a lot of your time to earn that money. So was it worth 3 hours of working, 10 hours of working to get this product? Or is it not as much worth that? All of these are kind of just thoughts that I had when thinking about how I determine whether or not I spend money on things. This may not work for you. It works for me to some extent and some degree on each tip. Again, just my brain dumping ideas. It's not even a very clear list. If you have other tips, leave them down below in the comments. I'll think of more and do a part 2. I would love to hear your thoughts on how you stop spending money, impulse buying, and some of the things that you'd rather save towards instead. If you are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe down below. I promise you I won't post a ton of haul videos asking you to buy stuff. I will not do that. I try very hard to not do that kind of stuff. Like I said, the other day I was thinking about doing a top favorites of this month, and I'm like, is that worthwhile? Is it just going to ask them to spend money on things? I'm just asking them to spend money on things or be more like me. If you want a video on like that where it's definitely angled differently, let me know. But honestly, I'm not comfortable sharing all the products that I have and telling you how much I like them. Like, that seems weird. It seems like I'm asking you to buy the products or be like me. And you're not me. You're unique and you're you, and that's great. So that's my thought process there. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It does help me a whole ton, and also helps me know that you like these types of videos. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!